There are understandings which can congeal over most of a lifetime. Wisdoms that build through accumulated nuance across the years. And there are other worldviews which come fully formed in a flash from within. And maybe you didn't even know you were working on the problem. That's sort of what happened to me about 40 years ago about energy. Now see, I was born in the early 1950s, part of a generation where our reality often followed us home into our nightmares. As a kid, sometimes when I was playing outside, I would turn and look to the north and suddenly imagine the heat and the wind sweeping from the city 40 miles away, south to me and my world. If you were there, you remembered they called it nuclear holocaust. But our culture had another ongoing narrative about peaceful uses of all that inexhaustible power. So if we skip ahead to 1976, my love of the stars and the night sky had taken me to college where I was a physics major. As part of a junior year course on practical physics, our class was taking a field trip to the control room of a soon-to-be online nuclear reactor. And as they talked about the secondary and tertiary protections and how amazing this place had been designed, as I looked over all of the hundreds of dials and switches and gauges, suddenly I had that flash. It could take just one mistake on one of those. I think they've forgotten human error. And then I was haunted by the words of another one of my professors. They, he said, in their optimism, have underestimated the risk. Well, time moves on. I dropped out of school. By 1979, I had dropped back in, and I was now sitting in a class, solid-state physics. But the professor wasn't doing solid-state. He was drawing a diagram. There had been an accident. But he was convinced everything was going to be okay. The system worked. Yet before that class even ended, the department secretary entered to give us this note. Due to the severity of the accident at 3 Mile Island, all classes are canceled today and for next week, and the trustees of the college ask that you leave the area immediately. Yes, it was before the gauges of that very same Unit 2 reactor, where 3 years earlier I had had my own epiphany.
Okay, well, obviously we all survived, but not without a partial reactor core meltdown, something that the power industry of the 1970s said wouldn't happen in a million years. And oh yeah, the final report said all of it was due to operator error.
A million years. But if you track human, man-made, and operator error across my own lifetime, from Chalk River to the Niger River Delta, from Browns Ferry to the Amoco Cadiz, from the Exxon Valdez to Chernobyl to the Fergana Valley to the Deepwater Horizon to Fukushima Daiichi, our future just can't add up without less dirty energy denial and more risk assessment. It isn't that these newer, greener energy technologies don't come with their own risk. They do. But when something goes wrong, they won't risk the entire city of Harrisburg, or Rochester, or Oswego, or the wetlands, or the Gulf of Mexico, or the Arctic Ocean, and their toxicity won't spread into our groundwater, or thousands of miles across the Pacific. Whatever else we risk, it won't be the future climate of our children's fragile planet.